We got another new watch to take a look at, and this is a really interesting one from Citizen Watches, famed Japanese brand Citizen Watches, the Tsuki-Yomi, or at least that's how it's spelled, the Citizen Tsuki-Yomi. Now, I did a little bit of research because I wanted to know why it was called that, and Wikipedia says that not Tsuki-Yomi, like the name of this watch, but Tsuki-Yomi. I was practicing the pronunciation. I probably flubbed it. I'm sorry. But that is the moon god in the Shinto religion and Japanese mythology. So rightfully named the Citizen Tsuki-Yomi. Why is it named after a moon god? What makes this so intriguing? Why the heck am I still talking to you when we have a fresh new watch box right here to open up? Let's take a look at this, shall we? Well, what do we have here? We have a lovely looking little box. Nothing fancy. A little bit of wood grain in the cardboard there. That's kind of nice. Decent little unboxing experience. There's actually hinges there. This feels like cardboard. Maybe it is actually a composite or a wood or something like that. But anyways, you're getting a decent box. Nothing huge, with kind of aligns with the price point of this thing, which we will talk about later. And if we flip that beautiful lid, we see a warranty card, which does specify actually that you're getting a 5-year limited warranty with this. Boom. How nice is that? 5 years. Thank you, Citizen. And we got some foam, and underneath the foam is the Tsuki-Yomi, the main event. This is what we're here to look at. So what the heck is going on with this beautiful little baby? Well, I'm not a huge fan of, I don't want to say quartz. See, that used to be a thing. I didn't think I was a big fan of quartz watches, but I am. I do like the convenience of a quartz watch. I'm just not a huge fan of deadbeat seconds. The tick, tick, tick once per second is a thing. I like a smooth sweep. I recently found a bull of a Jetstar with the precisionist movement. That was a quartz movement, and it gave me a really smooth sweep, and I really love that watch. It's fantastic. There's a video about it. Take a look. This is a deadbeat seconds watch, but I think there's enough going on here to make up for that. So let's first address the text on the dial, shall we? Citizen Eco-Drive radio controlled. Eco-Drive means that this is powered by light, not just solar light either, like any light that you have coming out of light bulbs or anything. Any sort of light source is going to charge the battery on this watch. So don't shut it away in a drawer, and it's going to be on and accurate for you for basically ever. Also, radio controlled. This is an atomic watch. It connects to the atomic clock. There are, I believe, 5 atomic clocks in the world. The reading I did said Germany, China, a couple in Japan, and one here in the good old US of A. Around 2 o'clock in the morning, this watch is going to start looking for the atomic clock radio signal. Call it pairing mode, right? So when it enters into pairing mode, it will look to receive the atomic clock signal that broadcasts the exact time and date of, what the atomic clock is set to. This is always going to be in sync with that as long as you're in range of an atomic clock. Has this received its signal lately? Here's the cool thing. You can check by pressing the bottom pusher. When you press the bottom pusher, the seconds hand is kind of going to go into indicator mode. All right, did you see how it kind of snapped back? It didn't move that far. We'll press it again. We'll let that seconds indicator go and go and go. And there we are. So now if we press that bottom pusher, you'll see the seconds hand snap into indications, right? So down here, let me get the trusty toothpick to point some stuff out. Right here, you'll see RX. If the seconds hand goes to RX, then that means it's trying to receive the atomic clock signal right now. This has said no. So it has not recently received the atomic clock signal. Not the last time it tried to pair anyway. Also, over here, there is a OK. So if it did receive the atomic clock signal, it would say everything is A-OK. So that's one cool thing. You're also going to see a huge moon phase disk at the bottom of this dial. Why is that subdial the largest? Why are they trying to highlight the moon phase so much? Because this is the first time that there has ever been an atomic clock radio connected movement in a watch that displays the moon phase. The mathematicians at Citizen have come up with all of the algorithms and everything that they need to do to program into this watch to where it will take the atomic signal of time and date, and it will calculate the moon phase based on the hemisphere you're located in. What's some other cool stuff that this watch can do? It's a world time. Let's show that off a little bit. We got to pull this out one pop. And there you go. You see the seconds hand in indicator mode again. But what is it indicating this time? Well, if you look at the top of the dial, I'm try to get this so there's not so much glare. If you see just above 12 o'clock, you'll see a plus minus 0. That is basically GMT, right? To dictate your time zone. And then when you go to the left of 12 o'clock, you're going to see minus 5, minus 10, all the numbers in between. So this would be GMT minus 5 here at 1 o'clock. GMT plus 5 here at, I'm sorry, that was 11 o'clock. GMT plus 5 is at 1 o'clock. This is how you set the time zone that you're in. And you're just going to use the crown in this position to roll it forward or roll it backwards. Right? So if we come up here, now I'm at GMT. That's it. And you can see the time changing aptly. That's a whole lot of fun to watch. Do we want to watch it finish out? It's going to count forward 8 hours. That's going to take a while. Let's speed this up. That was a lot longer for me than it was for you, let me tell you. But we're going to roll this back because I am on the West Coast. I'm in Pacific Standard Time, which is GMT minus 8, 6, 7, 8. There's actually a little tactile pop every time, which is really nice. And I mean, that's fantastic. And now if you're asking yourself, Self, I wish this had a world time bezel. Why can't it just have a world time bezel? It's giving me all these wonderful world time features, right? Because you can go to whatever time zone you want at any time you want. One simple pop of the crown, dial it forward and back however you need to, and bang, it's spot on whatever time zone you're in. But if you don't know what your plus minus based on the GMT is, it can be kind of a pain in the butt. That's where those world time bezels come in handy. But fret not. Citizen has thought about that. If you flip the watch over, you can see that conveniently printed around the outside of the case back, just like on a world time bezel it would be. Sorry, it's a little tough to give you a good look at this here, but you kind of see what I'm getting at. It shows all of the indicative cities to their time zones, along with the plus minus setting for them. So there's no need to look up a chart or keep a chart with you. It's always with you right there on the case back. I thought that was a really cool little touch that Citizen has done for us there. Thank you, Citizen. Thank you for thinking about us. If you look at this really closely, that dial's more interesting than you probably think it is. Obviously, the dial itself is moon-inspired by the moon god themselves, but it's actually sitting beneath a bit of a disc of sapphire crystal. So there is some depth there. I don't know if it's coming through on camera, but it does come through in person. There's some depth there. It's wonderful. I really like it. And the date wheel, I'm not sure how big of a fan I am about a date wheel at 4 o'clock. It's a little off kilter, but it seems like they prioritized the placement of their branding and text, right? So that's kind of where they're at there, which is fine. I get it. Right now the display looks a little bit funny because it is 2:10, so the hour hand is getting a little hidden underneath the minute hand. Actually, let's kind of change that. I'm not sure how much I'm a fan of that look for the video. So let's put this in Eastern Standard Time for all my friends on the East Coast. And there we go. We got some nice separation between the hour and minute dial. What is the rest of this that's going on here? While you are in this world time mode, the pointer up here is going to indicate whether you are in the northern or southern hemisphere. That's that you can change, and that's going to help you set your moon phase. And then off to here, when you're in standard time telling mode, that's a day of the week indicator. So this is a legitimate day, date, moon phase, but it's not just keeping track of the day and the date. This is a perpetual calendar, my friends. Full perpetual calendar built into this movement / module, whatever you want to call it. We have an AM, PM indicator there at 9 o'clock. But yeah, it's keeping track of year. It's keeping track of leap year. And this perpetual calendar functions whether or not you're connected to or receiving atomic clock signals. So yeah, it's a legitimate perpetual calendar. So if you're connected and you're receiving atomic clock signals based on where you're at, and you found the right spot in your house where you need to put it to get that signal and all that stuff, it's always going to be accurate. It's always going to be spot on. The moon phase is going to automatically set. The date is going to automatically set. The day of the week automatically set. Everything automatically sets. If you are not in range of an atomic clock, that's okay. This is still accurate to plus or minus 15 seconds per month. So, half a day, not too shabby on the accuracy. This thing packs a punch. The finishing, very nice. The way it feels in my hands, very light. Because that's the last thing I want to talk about here. What this case and bracelet are made of. This is not just made of titanium. This, says Citizen, is made of super titanium, which means it's titanium that wears a cape. No, it's titanium that receives a DLC coating, so it's a little extra scratch resistant, right? Super nice. How's that watch look upside down? Does that look good? We're completely turned around here. So yeah, awesome stuff. This isn't going to be a tutorial about how to work the watch, but there are some other things you can do. There is a second pop of the crown that you can use. You pull it out to the second pop, and what's that second hand pointing at now? That second hand is pointing to the fact that we are in standard time. It's not in daylight savings time. It's in standard time. If it was in daylight savings time, it would be pointing over here, right? And it's indicating that we are in automatic mode, not manual mode. So we're in daylight savings time, or not daylight savings. Listen to me. So we're in standard time, not daylight savings, and automatic mode, which means that feature, whether it's daylight savings time or not, is going to be adjusted automatically based on the reading that it gets from the atomic clock. That's pretty cool stuff. And then while it's in this position, you can hold down these pushers and adjust those things the way that you need to. Also, when it's all the way pulled out, when the crown's at that second position, pulled out 2 pops, you'll see this hand is now pointing to the left of this top subdial here, indicating the power reserve. So that's going to tell you how much juice you got left and how much you do or don't need to get this thing into the sun. I mean, this is a complicated watch, my people. I am impressed by the feature set that Citizen is providing at this price point. And again, we'll have that price conversation in a little bit. But for now, let's get this thing on wrist, because it says that it's 43 millimeters across. I might have to get the calipers out because it does not look like a 43 millimeter watch. This looks like it's going to wear beautifully. So let's cut to the chase and see how it wears. And here we are with the Citizen Tsuki-Yomi on my 8-inch wrist. This looks absolutely fantastic. I have basically zero bad things to say about this. Again, deadbeat seconds hand, I'm not a huge fan of it. The counterweight on that seconds hand, I don't know. It's a sword. Swords are cool. Also kind of gives me like fleur-de-lis vibes a little bit. That's fine too. And I like that it's black, so yeah, it doesn't really stick out much. It's there. I'd kind of prefer it not be there, but you know, we can deal with the counterbalance. Proportions is great. On the wrist, it looks a bit like a chronograph, even though it's not, because it has all that other stuff going on. You know, just a perpetual calendar moon phase that is set by the atomic clock and charges from any light source. You know, no big deal, right? And it's so light on wrist. I've never actually worn a full titanium watch before. This is phenomenal. I could dress this up. I could dress this down. I love the dial, the kind of moon-inspired dial. There is lume on this. The hands, the hour and minute hand, and the hour registers are loomed here. I kind of wish the moon phase was loomed. They're making such a big deal out of the moon phase. Like, toss some lume on that moon. But if you look at it, that moon is, I don't want to say it's completely photorealistic, but there's some nice shading there. Like you can pick up on the peaks and craters. Everything looks really good. Everything just looks really good. I mean, this is a phenomenal package. All right. So let's get this off of my Gorilla wrist. And actually, let's not do that yet. Hold on. This is the watch I was wearing. It's my standard daily wear, right? You tell me what you think. The watch on the right, 41 millimeters. The watch on the left, 43 millimeters. I mean, that really? Is it? Is it bigger? Come on, we got to get some calipers. Let's take a closer look at that. Okay, we got our budget digital calipers out here to see what the heck is going on with this thing. So let's come here and see what we are looking at. This is, yeah, man, 42.95. So that is spot on, a 43 millimeter wide case. What about a lug to lug measurement here? Lug to lug, we're at 48. Very nice. Thickness, we are at 11 millimeters. Give me a break. See, there's another thing you got to love about quartz watches. And then because there is a bracelet and these lugs do, you know, they jut out just a little bit there. Let's see what we're looking at on an effective lug to lug to how it wears on wrist. All right, we're looking at 53, 54. It's 54 millimeters, 53.98. So nicely proportioned. I would recommend this for, oh man, wrist sizes down to maybe 6.5 inches. It's probably going to look really good on that. The bracelet does give it a 53 millimeter stretch, which again on my wrist is absolutely no problem at all because I have a huge wrist. Not everybody does, but even if you get this thing and you think it looks a little bit too big on you, which I doubt it, it's not going to feel too big. That's for sure. It wears like an absolute dream. This is going to look incredible on a leather strap. Let me tell you. So if that stretch from the end links makes the bracelet not really an option for your wrist size, try this out anyway and see if you can pick yourself up a nice quality leather strap to go on there, because I got a feeling this is going to be a bit of a strap monster. You could put basically anything on here that isn't too super cat. I don't know, maybe the right NATOs and stuff would look good on here too. This is going to do really good on some straps. Let's talk about this. Value proposition, price, all that fun stuff. Enough of the watch, back to my face. So what do we think about the rantings and ramblings and the value proposition that the Citizen Tsuki-Yomi A-T provides? I think this is a phenomenal package for what you're getting for the price that it's presented at, but even better if you shop around for a deal. Perpetual calendar, world time, powered by light, never have to change a battery, connected to the atomic clock, and you never have to set it. Even if you don't connect to the atomic clock where you're at, or if you're just in the wrong location for a couple of days, it's accurate to plus or minus a half a second per day. And the cool thing about this movement is that it'll go into like a sleep mode or a power saving mode. If it's not exposed to light for a certain period of time, it goes into a power saving mode where it will last for 6 months and keep good time. Pretty impressive, right? Well, if that's impressive, what if I told you it doesn't last for 6 months? It'll actually last for up to 2.5 years. Yeah, full charge. It'll keep time for 2.5 years in sleep mode. So you can forget about this thing for a while, pull it back out, and it is good to go. Talk about the ultimate set and forget timepiece. Plus, the first of its kind, they toss in a moon phase that's going to be auto set for you. Have you ever tried to set a moon phase watch? And it's all in a super tight, I mean, come on, that's a little bit kitschy, right? Too corny for me. DLC coated titanium case with full DLC coated titanium bracelet with some really nice brushing and polishing. I mean, the finish on this, it's nice. Retail price on this, $850 US American dollars. But do you have to pay $850 US American dollars? I think not. At the time of this video's recording, the lowest price that I've found this for is on Jared, the Galleria of Jewelers, right? It's a jewelry website. Go to jared.com, take a look at the Citizen Eco-Drive stuff, the atomic connectable stuff. They actually had this listed under the wrong name. It's not listed as a Tsuki-Yomi. It's listed as a ATES or something. I forget exactly what it was, but it's the wrong listing, but the right reference number and the right watch. $510 plus they're giving you a 10% off in-cart coupon. I'm filming this on December, what is it, atomic clock? December 19th. I don't know how good this deal is going to last for, but if you apply that in cart, you're at $459. Under $500 for this feature set with these materials, exotic metal, beautiful dial, super versatile, great on a strap. There's a lot of really good stuff I have to say about this watch. Obviously, the one negative for me personally is the deadbeat seconds. Tick, tick, tick. But I think everything else that's involved here, I think that makes up for it in spades. One ticker in the collection that's not a Casio or a G-Shock? Maybe. We'll see what happens to this one. It's gorgeous. I love it. I hope you do too. I didn't see a whole lot of videos out there on this watch. I didn't know why. It seems like an incredible release by Citizen and a fantastic value proposition. Not sponsored. I don't get paid. Just giving you my opinions. Hope you enjoyed this. Go pick up one of these if you can. If not, take a look at one of the last videos I did on the best value watch on the planet. Yeah, the good old Casio AE1200. But this one, this is special. Have a good one. We'll talk to you soon.